What's up, everybody? It's your boy Showtime Doctor. Sneaking a guide in today, even on my work day. So, doing the Hein guide. I have plans to do the banner heroes tomorrow, after work, hopefully. Of course, we'll see how it goes. So I've been having a really good time with Hein here. The cool thing about Hein is...
How did the Dark Forces make a comeback?
Hold on, not his voice actor. No offense, Hein voice actor. Accidentally clicked on him there. So, cool thing about Hein is this is actually the 4-star version of Hein. So you're going to see, I believe this starts at 2%. You get him as he's an SR, so you get him at a 2-star. And then you just keep building from there. But basically, after taking action, intelligence is increased by 4%. Last 4 turns can be stacked up to 4 times. Now, I've seen this get dispelled, so be careful about that, but essentially, all of your intelligence is going to stack after 4 turns. 16%, and then... I need to actually look up exactly how high it can stack. Need some time for that. But essentially, Hein after every turn, as long as he is actually taking an action, and he is not, stunned or something like that, then he's basically stacking his damage, which is, of course, really freaking good. So, we're gonna get into what he can do, but just so you guys know, faction-wise, he's with Empire. Empire is actually the faction I run. You see I have a lot of the top Empire guys. Wish I had Bernie, but oh well. And then there's, God, why am I forgetting his name right now? The strategic guy. Adam Mueller, I think his name is, and... I honestly forget who that is. That's probably not Lana. Whoever the hell it is. It's somebody. And then, so Empire's the major faction, but of course he's in Legion as well. So, got all the top Legion heroes except the one I want the most, of course. But that's just how it is. So he's in 2 really good factions, which is pretty cool. So you can actually run this guy as, basically mage support. And I'll show you why he's super good, so let's get into it here with his classes. Hold on a second, Langrisser. Alright, so he's going to start with the mage class. You've already seen his passive. Mage class, he gets Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike, it's pretty much bonus damage against cavalry, the typical 1.5, 2 block range. 1 turn cooldown, so pretty quick cooldown. And then, recommended, in my opinion, you're going to go Archmage with him after that. So, real quick info on the passive. Oh wait, these guys didn't translate it either. God, I hate all these websites for this game. What the heck, the wiki had it the other day. Well, whatever. I'm sure whatever it is. It's like... It's gotta be at least 6%. Possibly it stacks up to 5 times. Who knows here, but... I'll try to find it before the video's over. Just gets old, because apparently every website that translates Chinese doesn't know how to translate Chinese, and... Even Google gives up on me, which is funny. But let's keep going here. So at Archmage, he's gonna get Teleport. Teleport... I believe there's only 2 or 3 characters in the game. I know Jessica has it. And then he has it as well. But not sure if there's another mage who gets it. I haven't really seen one. But this is actually really cool. If you've never used Teleport, it is life-changing in Langrisser. Essentially, you can teleport somebody to, I believe it's about an 8-block radius. Either forward or backwards or whatever. It doesn't work, unfortunately, on those, like, escort NPCs, which sucks, because I'd love to just teleport them backwards. Because they always want to go forward. But, essentially, Hein kind of turns into, like, you can take, like, say there's a bunch of, like, spear units, and you want to take your badass sword unit and just put them right in the middle so that they're all going to attack them. You can do that. And then your sword unit, he can buff himself in Elwyn's case, and then he just, like, cleans house, which is pretty fun. You can also abuse teleport to do things such as get the gold chest faster to end conflicts, and all types of other cool stuff. You can give it to a high mobility unit like Cherie, and then she could go and, like, reach places that she couldn't reach otherwise. It's a great way to get treasure chests and maps that are pretty far away, etc. So, really good stuff. And then he's going to get these troopers. This one, it's better for the casting, because he has magic damage. Attack increased by 10, which, by the way, also works on the hero unit and the troops as well. And then Ballista, you can actually use the Ballista if you get Hein a spell that does a 3 range, because Ballistas get 1 extra range, and they'll actually fire off on top of that, which is pretty cool. So occasionally, you want to roll the Ballistas out. And then you're going to go to Wizard. So Wizard's when Hein starts to get his AoE. Right, first skill he's going to get is Thunderstorm, so once again, bonus against Cavalry. Also takes down enemy defense 100% of the time. Defense decreased by 20%. This is an amazing spell, especially if you're fighting against Cavalry, but even if you're not, just to be able to do the AoE defense down. If you're fighting one of those maps where there's just a bunch of troops freaking ganged up together, you can just, this will wreck them. And it'll hit pretty hard, especially if he has 4 stacks of his intelligence. Pretty good stuff there. Now, Meteor. Meteor, it's kind of like, I think, maybe I forgot one skill. He actually gets a Fireball as well. That's probably his first skill. So, single target deals bonus damage to infantry 1.5 times. 1 turn cooldown again. So, that's his initial skill he gets. And this is the upgraded version of that, Meteor. So Meteor, it's basically the same thing as Thunderstorm. AoE. A little bit slightly higher modifier. 3-6 versus 3. And then bonus against infantry. Enemy loses 20% HP after taking action in the next turn. That would be really useful if you have someone that is extremely, like, they're doing a bunch of regen moves all the time. This will help mitigate some of that. Or if they're, like, really elusive and they can do a bunch of range attacks, like an assassin or an archer, etc. And even if you can't reach them because there's a blockade or whatever, they're still losing some of their health after every action. Pretty good stuff there. As for the troopers, you get the upgraded version of the Thaumaturge, the wizard. Now he increases attack and magic defense. And then also you get the High Elf. High Elf, they deal bonus damage, woods and mountains. Not going to use that most of the time. But that's the Archmage build. Now, when you're doing the Mage build, it just depends what you're doing. You're always going to want to have Teleport, in my opinion. And if you're on a map where you're fighting a bunch of infantry, you can consider going double fire. Same thing with Cavalry, you can consider going double thunder. In general, though, I would run Thunderstorm in general, just for the defense down. AoE defense down. And then your choice on your single target, whatever you want to do. Now, other builds he's going to get. Saint. Saint kind of turns him into how Chris is, just with a little bit more range. Bonus damage against demons. But you also dispel 2 buffs from the target after battle. So, troopers you get, it's the elves again. Or the elf style troop, and elite lancers, which, unless you're fighting a bunch of cavalry, and you know that Hein's going to take some damage from them, he could outlast the cavalry a little bit more. And then you got resist. This is single target though. Most people, they default to mass resist, but magic defense goes up 30%. You get some immunities to stun, cannot receive buffs, and mobility down. Pretty awesome considering it's on a 1-turn cooldown with a 2-turn duration. And then Forget. This spell is actually going to be one of the spells I'm going to recommend you run when you have everything unlocked. But this is an AoE. Has a longer cooldown, as it should actually. 0.3 AoE damage, but it disables all enemy passives. Not resistible unless they're immune to that. So if they have an item that makes them immune to that, or if they're a raid boss or whatever. Otherwise, though, this skill actually wreaks havoc, especially in PvP with Hein. One of the good reasons to run them there, so that's worth coming down this tree alone just to get that. But in general, most people are going to go Wizard, because you got like Chris and other units. If you manage to get any of the good holy units for anti-ghost stuff. Now this tree, the Bishop, kind of doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, I forgot to go over the troopers real quick. You get the Bishop, which adds to healing effects. Unfortunately, Hein doesn't have a heal unless you get him one of the artifacts that does. And then defense bonus for soldiers over 80%. Phalanx, really good troop. You're fighting against cavalry. Physical damage taken decreases, so occasionally you might need that. Now, the Bishop is a weird one. You only get Strengthen, which, you know, by the time you hit 35 and stuff, you really don't need necessarily. It does make you immune to a bunch of the, you know, damage down stuff, basically. Deactivate active skills, hint and attack down, so that's pretty cool, but otherwise, there's really no reason to come over here. You get the Inquisitor, but the wizards do the magic damage buff better, and you can get the heal damage. I forget what the troop was called, but they do the heal damage buff on top of some other stuff. And then you get the Monk, which the Monk's not a bad troop. Bonus damage to demons if you happen to be on a demon map, but you also have... I guess you don't get the Monk troops over here. Well, never mind, so I guess that's a plus. But overall, so what I'm going to recommend is build Mage. Definitely get Teleport and Archmage, go down to Wizard, get the AoEs, so you can farm Goblin and do some good PvP, PvE work. Then come over here. This is kind of negligible if you really are fighting against some undead, some demons rather, you could use it. Martyr, these are more defensive skills, which in later maps you're actually going to need, but Forget is what you're paying the bills with here. So as far as what skills to go overall once you run Hein, for most cases I'm going to run Forget. I am also going to run Thunderstorm, and I am also going to run Teleport. Now, that's going to be for most maps, but it may vary. Like, if you're fighting, you know, Dragon or whatever, then AoE's pretty much not going to be useful. You're going to want to do as much as the single target stuff as you can, depending on what you're equipped with. Sometimes AoEs will be useful just because Dragon at least doesn't riposte or counterattack when you do AoEs. But, you know, your results may vary. Range is bigger, too. But overall, for the most part, that's what I recommend. You run for skills. So once again, if you missed it, go ahead and do Thunderstorm, Teleport, Forget. Forget's especially powerful in PvP. So, and then stats that are important: Intelligence, 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 Intelligence. HP, Intelligence, Intelligence, Defense, Magic Defense. Magic Defense a little bit more than Defense, but you still need some Defense just because Archers are going to find them, Assassins are going to find them, Cavalry is going to aim for them, etc. So just be aware. But a very awesome support unit, especially with Teleport. I actually use him to teleport my Elwyn when I'm doing most of the Lancer maps or etc. Your good unit that counters whatever other unit when there's a bunch of them on the Anarchy levels. So now we're going to go into equipment and enchants. Go ahead and get in that. So enchants, there's arguments to be made for multiple things. I'm going to give you the arguments for each one. You can decide as you want. So number one, where these ones actually are. Not that one, because his cooldowns are pretty low. So this is what I run. I run Magic. Right now I'm doing the 4-piece, but I'm thinking about ditching the 4-piece actually, but I might keep it just because his AoE is pretty good. But I was thinking, I'm like, okay, so Hein, like right now I got him to where he gets 16% intelligence after 4 turns. So if you bust your intelligence up 5%, that's multiplying on that. And then if I was to get another 2-set 5%, so let's say... I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter what you choose, so you can go Full Moon. Well, that's 10% more intelligence, but then it's getting stacked 16% on top of that, so I'm not going to go crazy with the math, but you guys are getting what I'm saying is you can probably do more base damage eventually once you get enough intelligence percent gear. Just with the two-piece set bonuses, but for now I'm running with this just because I need help on Goblin killing. And Hein, my Hein, unfortunately, does not have any rainbow relics, so... But that's what I recommend for that. Now, as far as gear goes... Let's get to that, so... Some pretty interesting stuff. In general, you want stuff that's going to increase his intelligence and increase his damage, so... Nothing too revolutionary there. Okay. Okay, so first weapon, you know, you see this a lot in my caster videos, the Aestroth. Gives base intelligence when battling enemy afflicted with debuffs. Intelligence increases by 3%. Initiating combat, 50% chance to stun the enemy after battle. Pretty awesome there. So, and then of course there's the Miracle Staff. AoE damage increased by 3%. Base intelligence. When dealing damage, 15% chance to deal one powerful debuff to the enemy. Never a bad thing. And then there's a couple that actually sit right next to each other. The Red Moon and the Blue Moon. I'm sorry, I don't know why this sound's going crazy. Let me mute it. Okay, so the Red Moon, it's intelligence and HP. Nothing crazy, you know, super crazy, but it's increasing the percentage. And then same thing with the Blue Moon, but the Blue Moon will do magic defense instead of HP. So in most cases, I would actually say go HP, but, you know, on occasion, you're going to want that magic defense as well, so your results may vary. Whatever you think there. And then probably top tier, Purgatory. It's either between this or the Aestroth, honestly, in my opinion. Intelligence plus 1%. When dealing damage at the end of the next turn, the enemy takes fixed damage once. 1 times hero's intelligence. Well, clearly, Hein's intelligence gets ridiculous. Personally, though, I would probably go for the Aestroth, just because the chance to stun, you get a little bit higher base mitigation, or base multiplier, rather, on intelligence. Now, I know you guys that like to troll me on the videos, you're gonna say, well, there's already a build posted, and this stuff is top tier. It's like, okay, great, guys, and why are you watching this video? Go follow that guide, then. That's fine. But I'm giving my opinion, so this is my opinion. So, as far as armor goes, Baldur's White Robe. Over here. Magic damage plus 2%. When attacked with a melee attack, 10% chance enemy is stunned on this turn. Cannot receive melee damage reduction effects. Which, don't get why that last part of text is there. Me and Chopstick, we were talking, and they've apparently gone crazy updating the text of a lot of stuff, but they still have... He was talking about, like, hundreds per patch now. Which, you know, he has a reliable source of information on the inside, so... That's probably what's happening, but man, dude, some of the Chinese translations from English, they've been pretty freaking horrible. But anyway, so whatever that last thing means, cannot receive melee damage reduction effects. Whatever, maybe that's... Could apply to the enemy, could apply to the hero, you never know. You just never know until you actually see it working. And then Death's Robe, you know, Death's Robe. Crit decrease by 20% when attacked, 50% chance to increase the enemy's damage taken, your target's damage, by 20% last 2 turns, so that could be pretty good as well. Now, unfortunately for helmets, there was nothing that really stuck out to me, so just be looking for something with an effect. Because most of the helmets, it's like, you know, within 1 or 2 spaces, has a chance to proc defensive buff, dispel, debuff on the enemy, stuff like that. That's what most of it's gonna do. So, decreased defense, etc. But nothing really stands out, so just wear whatever the hell you want. And now, there's actually a good amount of accessories we can go over. So this is one of them, Holy Grail. Intelligence plus 1%. If you have dealt damage this round, restores 5% HP to other friendly units, 1 block adjacent to you after attacking. So if you do this right and you stand next to units, increase your sustain a little bit for your team, so that's pretty good considering he's going to do a bunch of damage. And then there is also... You know, usually I recommend this. Oh yeah, because it's healing. Okay. Well anyway, so then there's the Eye of the Beholder. I actually like this one a lot. Int plus 1.5%. When initiating combat, after battle, grants a 25% chance to reduce enemies' damage dealt by 15%. Works very well on raid bosses, really tough boss type enemies. Pretty good. Not sure if in an AoE effect it would go off, or at least have a chance to go off on multiple enemies, but wouldn't surprise me. So then you got Vidar's Rose, which is here. Intelligence plus 1.5% when actively dealing damage, 25% chance to dispel 1 buff from the enemy. You know, why not? And then there is the crazy Dimensional Jewel. So, in 1.5%. When actively dealing skill damage, 50% chance to reduce cooldowns by 1. Now, why this is good is because most of his skills, with the exception of Forget, which I believe has a 3-turn cooldown, most of his skills have a 1 to 2-turn cooldown. So that means that if you cast a skill with a 2-turn cooldown, and then this procs, and then a turn goes by, hey, it's back. So you could do it again. That means his AoEs, that means if you're running some of his single targets. A teleport takes a while to come back. I believe that's 4 turns, but, you know, that'll help that come back faster too. So, good stuff there. Dimensional Jewel, in my opinion, is probably top tier as far as, you know, if the effect goes off. And the percentages are going to go up the more you upgrade this. And so, Hein's pretty good. The thing that makes Hein really good, he is a caster that can nuke really hard, does a good amount of AoE debuffs, and he can also cast Teleport, which helps your team's mobility and strategic placements. And he is also a member of 2 of the most popular factions in the game, arguably the 2 buffest factions in the game to this point, which is, of course, Legion and freaking Empire, so really good stuff going on. And if you got some of these top tier characters that are doing the faction buffs, hey, he gets that much stronger, so pretty awesome stuff there. That's funny, I got almost everyone in this faction except... Damn it, Liana! I tried so hard on her banner too. Oh well. But anyways, guys, that's what that's Hein. Hein's really good. Apparently, I'm gonna start giving this information out because future, what the future entails. So Hein is very future-proof. In fact, he is extremely future-proof. Now, what I mean by future-proof, you're going to invest in this character, and then you're going to regret it because X number of characters come out that are way better than him, or etc. Girls, way better than her, that type of thing. But Hein actually becomes the strongest mage later in the game, believe it or not, with some skill changes, some buffs. I believe they add a tree, and then not to mention he is also some of the faction buffs that are going to go down, which different characters that are going to come out that have other faction buffs, etc. So eventually in the future, he actually becomes the most powerful mage in the game just because of the int stacking, essentially, on top of some of the faction buffs, skill changes, etc. So don't have details on exactly how, but it's widely... Every expert that I talk to that plays on the Chinese servers says that Hein's fucking ridiculous, so... I got no reason to doubt him. Right now, as far as top mages go, you could probably say like Basil, Lana. Lana strictly because of her range. And of course, she does some other good things. And then, you know, you could say Imelda. Imelda on turn 1, stronger than Hein's going to be. But on turn 4, you know, it's kind of a toss-up. And then, who are they? Fuck, I forget. There's like one other mage. It might be Adam Mueller. I forget. But there's one other mage that's really good. But anyways, Hein's top 5, at least for now, and just gonna get even better, guys, so... Alright, guys, so this has been your Hein guide, Hein build guide, and... I do promo? I guess it's been a while. Yeah, why not? Yo, I'm Showtime Doctor, Showtimedr. You found my YouTube. Hit a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also, check out my info. There is a link to my Discord, link to my Twitch. You could come on my Discord... You know, mock me, like some people have been doing. You know, we got a pretty good community in there, etc. So, and Twitch, stream this game. Actually, I haven't streamed it this week, have I? Because I did an Epic 7 stream because they gave me some swag. Where's my swag? Long games? No, they won't give me nothing. They're in love with Coolio Gaming. That's the way it goes. Anyways, guys, hope this guide's found you well. I'll catch you again. Peace out.